Special member request, we have Cerce, Weary. I'm going to play through all the parts right at the beginning here. Afterwards, I'll go back through with the full explanation and the guitar tabs. Please hit that subscribe button. It's the best way to let me know you like this video and want to see more stuff by Cerce. And now, let's give it a try. Okay, so for starters, we'll just be in a drop D tuning here. A special note though, if you're trying to match the exact recorded key, they're in a drop D flat tuning. So we would just take a drop D tuning and then everything a half step further, including all the other strings. So if you're trying to match the exact recorded key, just take note, it's a drop D flat. But for our purposes here, just to try to keep it simple and accessible to just jump right in, I'm just going to be in a straight up drop D. So we got D, A, D, G, B, E. All right, and with that out of the way, the song does have quite a bit of like crazy noise parts at the beginning and all that. The feedback parts, I don't really have, like a jacked amp here that I can just crank and get the feedback. So I do a little trick where for this initial, feedback part, it's basically a C note, and I just kind of take my ebow here, and I don't know if you've seen one of these. I'll leave a link for like all the gear and stuff that I use in my video in the description if you want to take a closer look at this. Basically, it's just this little deal you hover over the strings and just kind of gives a continuous sustain. So it's a little trick I can use without having to just crank a big amp in my room here. So basically, we just do, say, the 11 on the B string here, get that C note, and I just put this guy on there. Okay, and it kind of simulates that same sustained like feedback note there. All right, then kind of the fast verse section, I guess you would say. We get this little riff that comes in, and it's just bouncing between two chords. We start with our E power chord here, so just twos on the low D and the A here. And I kind of do it with the middle finger here, just because I want to get to this next chord quickly. I like to just stay in this one spot. So just do twos on the D and the A there, and then just drop down, hit this B flat. So we got the 1A with the 3 on the D. So I'm just kind of going like this. All right. Okay, go through it twice and just kind of cut that second one, and then repeat that whole thing twice. All right, we get another feedback note, and this one's coming up super high here. We go 19 on the high E. All right, and same deal I'm using with my ebow. Okay, for the next verse section, there's just kind of a little addition there where we take this octave, this C sharp octave at the 4A, 6 on the G. We just hit it, give it a real slow bend and release. And then we go back into our initial verse riff, the E to B flat power chords. All right, now just a little transitional section where we just do a big open low D power chord and zoom up to 9 on the middle D there and just kind of give it a bend and release. Okay, this next section kind of gets into more just like punk rock, you know, straight up punk rock chords here. And the strumming on this, it essentially just kind of follows the drums. All right, so the drums are going like boom, bam, boom, bam, boom, bam, boom, bam, you know, that typical punk drum. So we're just kind of following that with the strum, like that type of strum, or like a bang, 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 bang. And it starts with that C power chord there, the 3 on the A with the 5D. Okay, it comes off to an open low D power chord, same deal. Back to the C at the 3 and the 5, to 3s on the D and A, back to our C, okay, now to an E at those 2s, back to the C at the 3 and 5, and then we finish back at the 3s again, just kind of hit them and then cut. And over the top of that punk rock kind of fast section there, there's a second guitar, and it's just doing these quick super fast, like alternate strummed octaves here on the A and the G string, and we start at the 5 and the 7. All right, and we're kind of doing like a full measure's worth of each one, and like I said, just super fast alternate strumming. You know, just muting everything else except for the A and the G there. All right, bumps up to 6 and 8 for the same. Drops down to 4 and 6. And it finishes at the 3 and the 5. Now into this outro section, and this is kind of like the same riff that we're going to do all the way out, but there's different dynamics that happen with it. So the initial one, it just starts with this little chromatic bit on this is low D and A power chord here. So we just go 3s, 2s, 1s. And initially we just kind of get to that 1, just hold it, let it ring. Alright, and then we stay in that same area. We go 2s, 3s, 1s, opens. Alright, we just let that hold, and just before the section's out, we do this octave on the A and G where we go 3rd and 5th fret there. And it's just 1, 2, 3, bump it up to 4 and 6 for 1. Alright, and then just cycles from there. Okay, the next dynamic that we have with this outro section, just a subtle little thing in here where we do the 3, 2, 1, and after that we throw in this 3rd fret G bend. Alright, and then we finish it out the same way, 2, 3, 1, open, and then do our 3 and 5 octave to 4 and 6. Okay, next dynamic, it's same deal, 3, 2, 1, but at this point we're going to palm mute and just chug it. All right, and we give it like a good handful of chugs there. All right, and technically the second guitar does this bit, but we're going to have to mix it in with this, where we just, on the A string, we zip up to 6 and just kind of give it some vibrato. All right, and then the second part, we do our 2, 3, 1, open, chug the open palm muted power chord. All right, and then we finish that one off by A string sliding up to 5. All right, and just go back between those two sections. All right, the kind of last dynamic, I guess, we take the 3, 2, 1, and instead of palm muting this time, we just do open, unpalm muted strums of it. So just really big at the final section here. And it'll be the same way for the 2, 3, 1 to opens, all right? And over the top of that final run through, we have the second guitar doing this slow bend and release. All right, so we got the 11B, 13G, just a real slow bend, and just strum on it as we're bending it, and then just give it that 13 a slow release and just keep strumming. All right, and then at the very end, everybody just comes off to a big open low D power chord.